Hey everyone, welcome back to Harry Potter Folklore. So today's video is going to be all about the 4 ancient artifacts of Hogwarts and what they actually do. This is a question that's puzzled myself and many others because basically we only really know what 2 of them do, and as for the remaining objects, well, it's a grey, cloudy, misty area because there are clues but it's not exactly certain. Anyway, I've done some extensive research on the 4 artifacts and I'm pretty confident I can explain in detail what each of the artifacts actually do, so let's jump right in and get started. So there's 4 major artifacts, no surprise there. They're all magical, also no surprise there, and each belong to the 4 Hogwarts founders respectively. I really like that each founder is associated with one object and how it links to their traits alongside the powerful magic that was poured into their creation. The 4 artifacts are of course the Sword of Gryffindor, the Diadem of Ravenclaw, the Locket of Slytherin and the Cup of Helga Hufflepuff. Incredibly, these artifacts have survived the test of time, close to 1,000 years to be exact. Some became lost over time but all still existed and were intact. Each object has a magical power and that's what I'm going to be talking about today. As I mentioned in the introduction, 2 of the artifacts' powers we do know, 2 we don't, but there are clues surrounding their power. Anyway, let's start with the ones in which power we do know. The Sword of Gryffindor is a powerful and legendary magical artifact that has a rich history within the wizarding world. It's the most widely known artifact because it's still viewable today in the Hogwarts headmaster's office. It was said to have been forged by Ragnarok I, the greatest goblin smith of all time, and was purchased by Godric Gryffindor, who carried it until his death. The sword is claimed to be the property of the goblin community, as by goblin tradition, anything purchased from a goblin is only for the lifetime of that buyer only and must be returned after death. It is not a permanent sale. Godric used the sword to protect the school and its students. The sword became a symbol of Gryffindor House and it was passed down through the generations, always appearing when the wizard who wielded it needed it most. One of the most notable powers of the Sword of Gryffindor is its ability to destroy Horcruxes, which are objects that contain a piece of a wizard's soul. This power was discovered during the events of the Chamber of Secrets when Harry Potter used the sword to destroy the basilisk, in turn absorbing its venom and therefore having the power to destroy a Horcrux. In addition to its power against Horcruxes, the Sword of Gryffindor is also said to be indestructible. No matter how many times it is used, the sword always returns to its former state, unbroken and unharmed. The sword is believed to absorb the offensive power of that of which it destroys, just like I mentioned about the basilisk venom. So this makes it a valuable tool in battles and duels, as it will never break or lose its sharpness. The sword is also said to have the ability to detect and distinguish between pure and impure magic. When a wizard with a pure heart wields the sword, it glows with a bright light, but when a wizard with an impure heart tries to use it, the sword will not respond. This makes the Sword of Gryffindor a powerful weapon against dark magic and a symbol of the bravery and courage that is associated with Gryffindor House. It was also rumoured to be Voldemort's final Horcrux, as he had turned the 3 previous artifacts into Horcruxes, but this was purely speculation and Voldemort never got his hands on the sword. Next up we have the Diadem of Ravenclaw. Known as the Lost Diadem of Ravenclaw, it was believed to have actually been forged and created by Rowena Ravenclaw herself, who poured a significant amount of powerful magic into its creation. The diadem was said to be a beautiful tiara adorned with shimmering diamonds and intricate engravings. It was said to have been imbued with magical powers that enhanced the intelligence and wisdom of whoever wore it. As a result, it quickly became one of the most sought after objects in the wizarding world. The Diadem of Ravenclaw was said to have several unique powers, including the ability to enhance the intelligence and wisdom of the wearer. This power was said to be particularly effective for those who were already intelligent, as the diadem was said to amplify and refine their natural abilities. In addition to enhancing intelligence and wisdom, the diadem was also said to have the power to grant visions and foresight. The wearer was said to be able to see into the future allowing them to anticipate and prepare for potential dangers and obstacles, although this has never really been proven. However, the powers of the diadem were not without their dangers. The diadem was said to be addictive, and those who wore it for extended periods of time were said to become obsessed with its power. This obsession was said to lead to madness, as the wearer was consumed by their own intelligence and the visions granted to them by the diadem. The diadem was also said to be dangerous in the hands of those with evil intent, as the power of wisdom and intelligence could be twisted and used for malicious purposes. It was said that Rowena Ravenclaw's daughter Helena had taken the diadem and fled from her mother in a fit of anger and jealousy. Helena was said to have hidden the diadem in a secret location, never to be seen again. Despite its elusive nature, the diadem of Ravenclaw remained a powerful and influential object even in its lost state. The legend of the diadem persisted throughout the centuries, and it was said that whoever found the diadem would possess the ultimate symbol of wisdom and basically represent Ravenclaw House. However, like 3 of the 4 artifacts in today's video, the diadem was retrieved by Tom Riddle and turned into a Horcrux, which affected its dark magic. The dark magic of the Horcrux corrupted its powers of intelligence and wisdom, making them twisted and dangerous. The visions granted by the diadem became dark and foreboding, leading those who would try to wear it to madness. Fortunately, that was never the case, as it remained hidden until rediscovered by Harry Potter. Additionally, the diadem was said to exude an aura of negativity and darkness, causing those who wear it to feel uneasy and uncomfortable. The artifact no longer exists after being destroyed in the Room of Requirement during the Battle of Hogwarts. So now let's move on to the Horcrux, of which powers we don't know fully. The Locket of Slytherin is probably the most recognizable Horcrux from my point of view anyway. So here's what we do know. The Locket was said to have several unique powers, including the power to influence and control the emotions and thoughts of those who came into contact with it. The Locket was said to have a negative effect on those who wore it, causing feelings of anger, hatred and negativity to bubble to the surface. The wearer was said to become increasingly irrational and susceptible to the Locket's influence, making them more susceptible to the dark arts and evil impulses. Additionally, the Locket was said to have the power to manipulate the thoughts and memories of those who came into contact with it. The Locket was also said to be able to false memories and thoughts into the minds of others, leading them to question their own perceptions of reality. Here's the speculation with a light citation. Now, the Locket was much more than a mere piece of jewellery. The Locket was made from a rare and magical gemstone said to have been carved from the horn of the Horned Serpent, a legendary creature with the power of invisibility and flight. It was whispered that the Horned Serpent was a powerful and mysterious creature revered by the ancient wizards of Slytherin House. The gemstone that it was carved from was said to possess the same powers as the creature itself, granting the wearer of the Locket the ability to become invisible and fly. There is no real proof of this, as Salazar Slytherin was the only one to wear the Locket before it was actually turned into a Horcrux. Now, the Locket of Slytherin was crafted from this gemstone, and it was said that whoever wore the Locket would inherit the powers of the Horned Serpent, as I previously mentioned. The Locket became one of the most coveted objects in the wizarding world, as it promised its wearer the ultimate power of invisibility and flight, but as I said, this was never really proven. Now, in addition to that, there was a catch. The Locket was also one of the Horcruxes containing a piece of Voldemort's soul. This meant that whoever wore the Locket would not only inherit the powers of the Horned Serpent, but also the dark magic of Voldemort. Those who wore the Locket would be subject to the whims and desires of the Dark Lord, their bodies and minds controlled by his evil magic. Despite the danger, there were still those who sought the Locket and its powers. Some sought it for personal power, while others sought it as a means of defeating Voldemort. Whatever their motivations, all who pursued the Locket of Slytherin were aware of the danger that came with it, and they knew that the price of its powers was very steep indeed. Our final artifact is of course the Hufflepuff Cup. Now, the Hufflepuff Cup was said to have been created by Helga Hufflepuff herself, who was known for her fairness and justice. The cup was said to have the power to detect and reward those who were truly honest and kind, as well as to identify and expose those who were deceitful or manipulative. It was believed that the cup could do this when the person in question drank from it. Whether it be water or any other liquid, it just wouldn't matter. Another rumour that I believe has merit was that the cup was believed to be able to reproduce food and drink for travellers who had lost their way. I'm going to expand on this with my own theory, so I hope you guys can bear with me while I do it. So, the exact mechanism by which the Hufflepuff cup replicates food and drink was never really fully understood. Some believed that it was a simple spell that Helga Hufflepuff had placed on the cup, while others believed that it was a property of the cup itself, a manifestation of its inherent goodness and generosity. Regardless of its source of power, it was clear that the cup had the ability to produce an unlimited amount of food and drink simply by being filled with a small amount of any type of food or liquid. The more that was taken from the cup, the more it would produce, ensuring that those in need would never go hungry or thirsty. It was said that the cup could even produce food and drink that was specific to the tastes and preferences of those who used it. For example, if a wizard preferred sweet foods, the cup would produce desserts, while another wizard who preferred savoury dishes would find that the cup produced hearty, full belly meals. This made the cup particularly appealing to travellers and those in need, as it provided a source of sustenance that was tailored to their individual needs and desires. However, it was also rumoured that the cup had another, darker side to its power. It was said that those who used the cup for their own selfish gain, or who did not have pure motives, would find that the food and drink produced by the cup would turn to ash in their mouths. This was believed to be a warning from Helga Hufflepuff, reminding those who used the cup of the importance of kindness and generosity. There you have it, everyone. That is today's video on what the 4 ancient artifacts of the Hogwarts founders do and how they function. I know some of it was theoretical, so I hope you can appreciate and respect that. Let me know your own opinions on the powers of the objects in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to look out for the next video, and I'll see you soon.